What's going on, guys? So got up here on Saturday and we got a pretty interesting video today. Y'all probably saw some fairly decent sized news leak yesterday about StockX, and basically they said in court we don't know how to authenticate stuff, right? Or we can't determine it, which is a pretty interesting statement to have. But I feel like that goes for a lot of these platforms. Like, if we're really being honest, eBay, Goat, Alias, StockX, all of them have issues. All of them definitely don't know what they're doing sometimes. And all of them have sold a fake shoe before. I can say that comfortably. Like, they definitely have messed up before. Just go look on Twitter, go look on Reddit. The evidence is there. All of them have their problems. But today, we're discussing StockX and, well, their problems. Because, well, they leaked all over the internet yesterday. Or not leaked, but, the court case filings were shown. So we basically got all the information. We'll run through it today in this video. Shout out to this Twitter page right here. I want to give a quick shout out. We're going to be, looking at this page today, since he really just dove straight into it. But it's what he does. It's legal work. So he's the guy. You know what I mean? He definitely would know his stuff. And it's specifically discussing, like, streetwear stuff. So kind of cool. You know what I mean? But if y'all want more content like this, feel free to subscribe and like down below. It's trying to 300 likes on this video. And make sure you guys check me out. My IG's down below. Always buying, selling, trading here. Hey, if you don't want any that StockX BS, then yeah, hit me up. I got you. And you can also check us out Resale Vision down below. You can see some of the deals that we've done last night, day before. We do deals every single day, so that's something you're into. Make sure you guys get in there and don't miss out. A lot of stuff that will be going out today, tomorrow. We get stuff out every single day. Sorry. Speaking a little too fast right there, but yeah, check us below, don't miss it. But yeah, I hope y'all will enjoy. I'm gonna scooch over a bit here and let's get the screen recording up so you guys can see this is up right here. And basically, here we go, we start here. So he says, recently unsealed filings from Nike versus StockX. They're pretty juicy. Apparently they got some good information in them, so why don't we start diving into it. So here's kind of the first one. According to its motion for partial summary judgment and memos in support, Nike alleges that StockX conceded and agreed that they allowed the sale of counterfeit Nikes. Now, I want to say this. I do not think that StockX purposefully would allow the sale of counterfeit Nikes. Like, that would land them in some crazy hot water. I mean, they're already in hot water right now, but that would be like a recipe for disaster, like knowingly selling fakes. I do not think that was their intention. So I'm actually going to, I know some people may not like this. I'm going to come to StockX's defense on the start right here. I don't think that StockX knowingly sold fakes. I do think that they mess up because they're such a large platform, and they just can't get stuff 100% right. It's just almost impossible. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say that I do not think that StockX knowingly sells fake shoes. I think with some other stuff on their platform, definitely can get questionable, right? And we can talk about that a little bit later in this video with some of the streetwear stuff that's like under retail, some of the designer stuff that's way under retail. Like, how's anybody making any money on that? You know what I mean? It's like, that's not, you know what I mean? There's definitely some questions there. But first thing I'm gonna say is that I just can't agree with that first point. I don't think that StockX, as big of a platform, as big of a company they are, I don't think they would knowingly do that. Like, that would cost them everything. You know what I mean? That would cost them everything they got, everything they own, everything. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, the owner would be putting this stuff, everything in trust. You know what I mean? If that was the case, and I don't think that's what he's doing. But aside from that, you guys can see another thing we got right here. StockX admitted to selling 77 fake pairs of Nikes, along with discovering a fraud ring that got away with selling 1,800 products before it was stopped. So apparently there were some workers, maybe, or someone, right, that was running a little fraud ring under StockX, as you guys can see right here. Someone was running a little fraud ring or something, you know what I mean? And they got away with selling a lot of fake products under StockX. And I guess they just sent them directly to their customers before they caught it. So that's something to, kind of pay attention to. There's definitely, I've always wondered about that, why somebody hadn't done that, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's not a good thing, right? Like, it wasn't an idea I'd pitched out there, but I had always wondered, like, okay, the authenticators have, like, all the power for, like, the payouts of this huge company right here. Like, they determine, like, if the person gets paid out or not. Why wouldn't someone just, like, become an authenticator, right? Or, like, get in contact with one, right? And then basically just, get everything to go buy. Like, you know what I mean? Everything they sell there to go buy. It would be like a free money loop. And, well, clearly someone did it for a bit until they got caught. But, that's an idea I do not recommend. And that's something that was going on. Yeah, 77 fake pairs of Nikes before they got caught. So that's a pretty significant amount. What's my cat doing? What's up, buddy? Hey. My cat's being weird this morning. I don't know. She's just, like, running around doing stuff like that. I've tried to pay attention to her. And she was hanging out in my closet. So I'm about to see what's going on with my cat. We are taking her to the vet in a couple days, so maybe it's something going on there. But it is a female cat too, so sometimes they be acting weird. I know it can be like a seasonal monthly thing sometimes. So yeah, we're learning over here. But aside from that, you guys can see Nike painting a good picture for some serious damages for willingly counterfeiting and false advertising, for admitting to selling fakes and continuing to market and advertise as 100% authentic. Now, this is actually something I'm interested in. I do wonder if StockX knew they were having issues on the back end with authenticating products and they were still pitching their platform as 100% authentic. I think that is something we kind of have to pay attention to. Also, with a lot of these apps that have these authenticity guarantees, 100% authentic guarantees, a lot of them may start having issues. I just want to say, I don't think Nike's only going to be going for StockX. I think Nike's going to start looking at GOAT. I think Nike's going to start looking at, all those other platforms overseas. Any ones that, have that authenticity guarantee, they're going to start looking at them and, taking a second look. I think Nike's going to start asking a lot of these platforms for their, some information, right? Maybe sending, some court cases their way. I don't know. We have to see. But I do have a feeling that this is not the end of Nike's, wrath over resellers. And they actually do discuss some stuff about Zadeh Kicks. And apparently Zadeh Kicks was a very, very big buyer through StockX. I find that to be fairly interesting. One of the bigger suppliers in the world was a huge buyer off StockX. So that just goes to show, hey, sometimes StockX is the platform to connect you with buyers for a product that may be very hard to find. Sometimes some of these products just do not have big backdoor connects. So you have to sometimes go through apps to get the best price if you get them early enough, and then, wait for them to go up in price. And that seems to be a bit of what he was doing back in 2017, 2018, 2019. That worked a little bit better because shoes were just going absolutely insane. Because the pandemic. So yeah, everyone had, the free cash, stuff like that. So yeah, people were spending on kicks and things like that. They were going crazy. So yeah, you could hold them and do that more. You can't really do that as much now. Obviously, you can see I got a lot of kicks around me, but those are gone pretty much next month. You know what I mean? So that's what I could say. But so yeah, basically StockX authenticated 77 pairs that apparently were no good. They sent them out to customers, and Nike is, now addressing that. They're saying, hey, they, couldn't prove that these sneakers were necessarily authentic, right? They probably were fake, and they still sent them out to customers. Let's talk about that. So that's something pretty interesting. But as you can see, gets juicier by the segundo. The infamous Zadeh Kicks makes an appearance regarding counterfeit Cool Gray 11. So apparently he sold some fake Cool Gray 11s through StockX, and Zadeh Kicks was StockX's largest buyer. So I think that's pretty interesting. And back to my point of what I was saying earlier, StockX is sometimes the place to buy. Sometimes. I'm not encouraging it in this video anymore, obviously, as you can see. We're talking about something where I'm like, hey, you probably should not be using StockX, right? But again, this goes for any platform. I just want to say this, and I've mentioned this in my past videos. This is why I'm making this video, right? It's because we talked about this before on the channel, man, and authentication is just a second look. It's just somebody else giving you an opinion, man. That's really all it is. They don't know much better than you, probably. You know what I mean? Unless they're, that's what they do all the time, right? And they actually, take the time to research specifics. Most people, it's just a second look. They probably know about as much as you. So I think this is a little bit of proof of that. You know what I mean? Not Zadeh Kicks buying a bunch through StockX, but StockX running into this issue. It just goes to show, hey, they're authenticators. They're trying as best they can. Who the hell is beeping outside? Is that the best way to get the attention of your people, right? You see this? Call them. All right, enough of that. But yeah, back to kind of what I was saying. It really is just a second look. And this whole court case is proof of that. Nike's like, they don't know what they're talking about. And StockX is like, we don't know what we're talking about. And then Nike's like, oh, well, you did it on purpose. And StockX is like, no, we didn't do it on purpose. We made a mistake. And Nike's like, oh, well, we want money. StockX like, okay, how much? That's really all. It's all this court case really seems to be at this point. You know what I mean? Nike's trying to be like, oh, they're doing this on purpose, oh, is it? But, it's not on purpose. You know what I mean? StockX is just dumb sometimes. We can admit it. They grew really, really fast, and problems like this will probably happen. So, aside from that, I find it so interesting that Zadeh Kicks is buying a bunch through StockX, you know what I mean? But it probably was for a bunch of those off-white sneakers, things like that. Pairs that are really, really rare and hard to get. I can understand if he, went in early, bought a bunch of those through resale apps, and then, obviously a lot of those went up $1,000, $2,000, went during the peak of their hype. So if he did that, then yeah, I totally can understand why he was a big buyer through StockX. He made a ton of money doing that. But now I wouldn't recommend that, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of sneaker prices, there's no point in going through apps and paying the fees and all that. You can probably find a better deal local or just waiting a little bit. So yeah, that's interesting, but to the point. Maybe Zadeh Kicks was just trying to, make the flip like that. But again, I'm not trying to defend him or anything like that because obviously he owes a lot of people stuff. So he needs to figure that out. And obviously I don't think he's trying to do that. Nobody even knows where he's at, I don't think. So Aside from that, here is the main thing that I've seen trending everywhere, probably what I put in the thumbnail. The final blow: StockX admitted its authenticator cannot determine if a product is authentic, that it knew it was passing counterfeit footwear, and it had no idea what percentage of fakes were making it through the authentication and into consumers' hands. I find this to be very interesting. The fact that StockX is like, yeah, we don't know how many fakes we're passing. We don't know. So that probably means that they're failing items that are authentic as well. I've dealt with that with StockX. Like it's not just like it's not just them. Tell me, like I could make a whole other video and go like, yeah, I could talk about them, right? They definitely have given me some issues before because their support team is freaking, yeah. Aside from that, it's a mess over there too. But yeah, I find this to be interesting because it just goes to show that they can't really determine what. I do find it bad that they can't determine what percentage, right? Like, I feel like you should be able to narrow and hone down what percentage of orders you've probably had issues with or bounced back, or ones that, you know, customers have came back and had issues with. Like, you should probably be able to have a percentage or a guesstimate, you know, you can put out there. They don't even have that. So I think that's pretty bad because they have to. This is also something I'm talking about. Like, some of those streetwear prices on their platform, right? Like some of those designer goods, things like that they have listed on their platform, like way under retail, things like that. Like, yes, I understand sometimes things brick in price. Even designer goods, they brick in price. Sometimes there's too many of them out there. They sit at stores, they go on discount, 30% off. They're under retail and StockX because the employees are taking them, flipping them because they get them for like 70% off, whatever it is. So yeah, like, I know the game. But I do find it interesting. They can't say what percentage of like orders, you know, they're having problems with, or what percentage of stuff they pass that they think like, hey, you know, we should probably, you know, take another look at this. Like, if you're already having to say, hey, we should take a second look at this, hold up, hold the horses. So yeah, this is interesting, you know what I mean? And you know, it's just, yeah, it's a weird one. You can see this. We've had real pairs get rejected. StockX replied, as you can see. And like, of course, StockX is going to fail real stuff. They're going to pass fake stuff. Like, StockX, again, as you can see from this, they don't really know fully what they're talking about. And they can say, as you can see, StockX started with Nike's claims are completely misguided. I think that's, you know, it's a good response. Like, you read it through and you're like, okay, it makes sense. Like, you know, the products in this case, question to a mere 0.004% of our total platform orders. Like, it's basically barely anything we, you know, have done. So I understand it. They're trying to go out and say, like, hey, Nike is trying to, like, you know, pin us down and really, like, you know, stick us out to the public and make us look bad. But, you know, it's only like 0.0004% of our orders. Like, it's not even a percentage base. So yeah, I think that's a fair point to say. Like, it is a very small amount of their orders. And, you know, a lot of platforms probably deal with this. But yeah, I do wonder, like, what more is going to come from this. Like, what StockX is going to have to do, if they're going to have to, you know, pay Nike a bunch of money, something like that. You know, probably, of course, there's probably going to be some money involved, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I can say about, you know, for the video today. StockX is dealing with some legal issues. They cannot determine if a product is authentic, which I feel like that is pretty interesting. You know, I feel like you should at least be able to determine it on some stuff. Like, on some items, you can pretty much tell, right? Like, certain items, like some designer goods, things like that, like, it's very easy to tell. But on some sneakers, things like that, I can totally understand where it's like, it gets a little bit harder to check. But, you know, on shoes, it's not even too hard. Like, just take up that insole, man, and, you know, take a look at what you got right there. Then you can get a little look at if you got something good, you know what I mean? So that's what I can say. But, you know, they're getting better and better. That's what I can say. So I understand it. You know, StockX is having to work to an issue that, you know, continues to, you know, improve, unfortunately. You know what I mean? The fakes are getting better and better and better. And that's, you know, it's just something that StockX is going to have to counteract and work with. My personal recommendation, hire more people. Hire more people. You know what I mean? Like, the more authenticators you get in there, right, the more opinions you're going to get. And that's when you can actually get a team kind of working together, brainstorming together, plotting together, pitching ideas off each other. They're probably already doing that. But if they aren't, like, come on. But, you know, I've seen their, like, Twitter posts, things like that. Like, I have a decent-sized authentication team. But for the amount of products they have, not enough. Like, 20, 30, 40 people is not enough. I'm sorry. Like, breaking news. All right, yeah, that's it. Got my cat right here. I'm going to hang out with her after this video since she's being kind of weird. But if y'all want more content like this, feel free to subscribe and like down below. Just trying to 300 likes on this video. As I always say, you can check me out. My IG's down below. Always buying, selling, trading here. You ever want to do business with me, hit me up. Again, hey, any of my kicks I got back here, I can provide you full, you know, authentication, anything like that. No BS, you know what I mean? So, hey, you ever want to do business with me? I got you. You know, we got the Futures here. We got the Strawberry Coughs. We'll probably swap this out for another pair next week. We'll put something else here in the display. I'm going to leave those there because I love the Futures, you know what I mean? I know it's not everyone's style, but for me, I mean, like, if you need a kick for the summertime, like, what's better? You know what I mean? Like it's just a nice shoe. You know what I mean? But again, it's personal opinion. And yeah, you can also check us out at Resale Vision down below. You can see some of the deals we do every single day. The ones we did last night, day before, ones we're running this week. I'll have the new schedule coming tomorrow or Monday. So y'all will see that. And yeah, it's pretty much everything you need to say. I've been talking for 17 minutes. Dang, this is a long video. It's gonna be a lot of editing work for me later. I'm not gonna like that, but that's fine. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just gotta deal with it and go through it. So yeah, that's it. I'm T. Thank you guys. I'm gonna get my homework done. I gotta do today, and then I guess we'll get to editing this. Yeah. So I'll see y'all in the next one tomorrow. Dumb us out on that. Peace.